This person had labs done and their TSH is critically low and they don't know what's happening other than it feels like they might have hyperthyroid. But all we know is the pituitary gland is not telling the thyroid to produce more thyroid hormone. That's all we know. We don't know anything about the thyroid because it wasn't tested. TSH is a measure of what your pituitary gland is doing, and it can indicate a few things. If it's critically low like this could be an indication that your body is in a hyperthyroid moment. But we won't know that unless we test free T4, total T4, free T3, and total T3. We also won't know if this is a hyper driven by something else or if it's truly autoimmune unless we test antibodies. The other thing this could indicate is that the adrenal glands are struggling, especially because this person feels like they have hyper symptoms. It could mean that the adrenal glands are just overproducing cortisol, which produces basically adrenaline all the time, which would give you the racing heart, shortness of breath, feeling like you can't settle, kind of panic attack like symptoms. Oh my gosh, words are hard today. So without further testing, this number means nothing. It means nothing. And if the doctor is unwilling to further test, they also should be unwilling to offer any sort of medical advice in terms of medication, because this doesn't tell us anything. For a cortisol test, which I would ask for a 24-hour salivary cortisol to understand what is happening throughout the day with my cortisol. If you do a urine collection cortisol or a blood spot cortisol or a serum cortisol, it means nothing. The 24-hour urine collection cortisol all goes into the same bucket, and all it tells you is whether or not you've produced enough cortisol or too much cortisol or too little cortisol throughout the day. It doesn't tell you when that cortisol had its peaks and valleys. If you do a blood spot, it gives you that moment in time, but that moment in time is invalid after you've been awake for about 30 minutes. You can get away with doing a 60-minute one and have a more okay term, but most labs don't open until 8, and I don't know that many people that get out of bed at 7 and are calm and relaxed and have to get somewhere. So the salivary cortisol, what happens is you literally stick a piece of paper in your mouth when you wake up, 30 minutes after you wake up, an hour after you wake, a couple hours after that, 5 p.m. And then if you wake up during the night, you take another one. And that tells us what your cortisol is doing throughout the day. It should spike pretty early and slowly come down. And as it comes down, we would also see melatonin start to rise. If your body does this thing where it spikes, comes down, spikes again, that drops melatonin, which will give you some sleep issues and heart issues, and it can feel like panic attacks. So this number on its own is not enough to say that there's anything wrong with you other than your pituitary gland is not telling the thyroid what to do. That's it. If you get lab numbers back and you're not sure what they mean and you want more comprehensive testing done, there are ways that you can order your own blood work. I can put links to that in my profile if you would like. Just say blood work links and you can purchase your own blood work, or we can go through the blood work that you already have that's fairly comprehensive and tell you exactly what your plan for the next 90 days should be. If the second option is what is interesting to you and you really want to know what the A range is, because the normal lab values are everyone who is getting an A through a D on the exam, and we want to narrow you to only getting an A or a B plus. You can DM me and I'll send you the instructions on how to book a consultation. If all of that's too confusing, there's a link below where you can put in a description of what you're looking for, and I'll get that right over to you.